So how many of you have been rage baited, especially black women? How many of you have been rage baited, and then when you retaliate, you are the victim? This could happen anywhere from the grocery store, especially at work, or any place that you go, even a street interview, right? So let's talk about it.
You got desires, I know. You got desires, I know. You got desires.
Hey friends, hey, it is Stacey and I am back on my channel. Thank you for joining. I just wanted to come on here and do a little story time about rage baiting and how it has gotten all of this sensation, and people are doing it for likes, views, clicks, comments, all of the things. But then when it goes wrong, they turn into Karen, right? So I have had this happen to me, and I really had to think about it multiple times just throughout my career, just living my life, just people trying to draw you in, especially even in my neighborhood. Oh my gosh, a lot of rage baiting there when you try and put up boundaries. And so I wanted to talk about it today, because how do we handle this? We know in 2025 we were living in a different political environment, and things that were kind of secretly said before in certain groups, people are just letting it all hang out now. There is nothing shy about, you saying, I don't like black people, I don't like brown people, I'm gonna call ICE on other people, all of those things, right? So this is what we're living in. And last weekend there was a reporter in the Bronx, I think her name was Savannah Craven. I'll put a picture up. She was doing a street interview. I guess this is her thing. Background is doing street interviews, talking to random people. And it wouldn't be a horrible thing, but she is a MAGA. And so she baits people in. And on last week, she just happened to get the right one at the right time. And it didn't go how Savannah wanted it to go. So she pulled in this young lady named Brianna and started talking about Planned Parenthood and asked her, did she know about what Planned Parenthood was? I mean, the exchange organically was nice when it started off. So it was, oh, I like your dress. It's friendly, lighthearted. She's asking her, does she know about Planned Parenthood? Does she believe in, pretty much their values? I'm just summarizing it. And, she kind of said she supported it. And she said, so you support, killing children, all of those things. And it just went completely left. She took Brianna's words and twisted them around, and it was because she wanted an audience. She wanted the clicks, the likes, all of the things. What she did not realize is she was going to get more than that. I do not condone violence, but let me tell you something. Do not have me on a platform where you're trying to make me look like a bad person because I'm giving you my honest feedback. It was very MAGA, very Karen behavior. And so, Brianna handled it how she needed to. And you don't know what had gone on in her day beforehand. She was tired of it. And we all see what happened when she emerged, bloody nose, all of those things. But how many times have we been in that position, right? Do any of you feel like you have been put in that position? I know I can tell you story time about times at work. I work in corporate America. I am in IT, healthcare arena. And usually, as I have said in other videos, usually I am an anomaly when I'm working with my clients and on my team. So there is usually not an influx of black and brown people on the team within the organization, and definitely, that I work with. So I get introduced to a client, and sometimes people have big feelings about working with certain demographics of people. I have encountered it. Is it right? No. Is it wrong? Yes, but I've learned to manage because I've been doing this for a very, very long time. And I've seen now more so it's continuing to happen and probably getting worse. I did another video a while back, where I had to take legal action against my previous company because I had a manager there that called me a monkey. So we know that things aren't really changing a lot, but I had an incident even just recently at a job, and with a team member, a peer, someone that blatantly just threw me under the bus and was saying things to get a reaction out of me, and she's doing it in front of a client. So, that situation turned into an issue. And then I remember after the time change, having client call this same employee. I had just jumped off of another call, and if anybody is in corporate America, when you jump from one call to the next, sometimes you might have to go to the restroom. You might have to go take a little potty break really quick. So I did, got on the call maybe 30, 45 seconds later. And I got on the call and heard this coworker saying, well, I didn't know if Stacey was going to join today, if she was taking a nap. The time change set in. And I took that just the wrong way. Hopefully I wasn't being sensitive, but I'm like, why would we even say that to a client? And then the connotation would be laziness. And, I am a brown person. I'm the only brown person that's leading this implementation. So I just took that, and it was like, she laughed about it. I corrected, but we moved forward. I did make sure that this was all documented and it was taken care of. But I feel like people put you in a position to see how you're going to react. And then when you react, they turn into a victim when they put you in this position. So it's just one of those things that, like, how do we handle this? What do we do moving forward? And it happens all places. I can even think of being, I can say, rage baited in my neighborhood. I have put a video out, I think it's something on my channel, about no boundaries in our neighborhood. If you haven't watched the video, let me give you a little overhead, like a story about what's going on in my neighborhood. Live in Nashville, down south. Pretty, I would say, moderate neighborhood, very young. Nobody is out, for the most part of our neighbors, having signs that would make you think that they do not like brown people. But I still live in a neighborhood, it's not a lot of brown people. But there is a constant problem with boundaries and with the residents saying that there needs to be boundaries, and especially the residents that are Black. So we always know that, we've had kids that have left their toys in, people's driveway. We've had people walking through people's grass, coloring with sidewalk chalk all over people's stuff. And when you say something on social media, the reaction is kids are kids. But you can tell there's an aggression if it's one of the Black neighbors saying this. Or we do have another neighbor that had kids that were throwing balls at her house because she is an African American lady, and going in her driveway, and they just told her, well, she should be okay with it. So when someone reacts, then it's a victim. Oh my God, I can't believe somebody said something to me, because that's not the intent. Well, the intent is boundaries. And I feel like it definitely is, you call it out, and then they start picking to see if you want to say it is racially motivated. We all know it's racially motivated. But they want us to bring it up. And they want to just, I'm not racist. I didn't see anything of it. It's just kids being kids. But the problem is, kids are doing what you as parents are allowing them to do, right? So if you're not teaching your kids boundaries, they become menaces to everyone else, and they perpetuate the same behavior. And then they turn into what? Karens and little demon spawn that nobody wants to see coming. Being a Black person in America right now is a challenge. It's very, very hard. You say anything, it can be misconstrued. And, I pray to God that eventually we will all get to a place where, things kind of temper out. I don't see it coming pretty soon. I try to just mind my own business for my own sanity. But it's getting harder and harder. It's happening in the workplace. Everywhere you go, people are trying you to see what kind of reaction you get. And I think sometimes people want to be, two-pieced. And then they can call the police on you and say, oh, you hit me, because they're pushing you past the boundaries. I don't know. This is kind of just random thoughts today, because I just encountered this and wanted to see what everybody else does. Like, how are you handling this? Is this something that has happened to you? What's the best advice that you would give to someone, even if you are non-black? Let's just ask, how would you handle this from that perspective as a non-black person being baited into, a beehive so people can say, oh, you stung me? How would you handle it? I'd love to know. All right, let me know. Have a good one.